In this video, I want to talk to you about something that's very dear to my heart. It's the difference between mentoring, coaching, and teaching. And because I see a lot of confusion, I just did a YouTube search and I watched some of the top ranked videos on the difference between coaching and mentoring, for example, and mentoring and teaching. And it's really confusing what people are saying. I want to really clarify it, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is that there's a massive confusion about the difference between mentoring and coaching. Let's talk about that first. In a nutshell, the difference between mentoring and coaching is in mentoring, you're the expert and you're saying, I've done it, I've bought the t-shirt, let me show you how to wear the t-shirt. You're the expert and you're saying, this is how you do it. In coaching, what you're saying, okay, you want to achieve something, I can help you get there by removing the blocks and doing some change work. Changing how you're thinking, reframing, doing some sort of hand holding to help you remove obstacles or get clarity and to achieve your goals. That's what coaching is essentially. Now, what a lot of people who call themselves coaches, they aren't actually coaches in that way. They're not doing change work. What they're doing is what I call accountability coaching. Now, accountability coaching is very similar to mentoring. It's almost the same thing. Accountability coaching is you give somebody something to do and then they go away. They come back next week, they show up and you say, how did you get on? And what you'll find is a lot of people won't do what you ask them to do because they've got stuff. They're not sure, they're not certain, they've got negative anchors, they've got bad feelings about starting, they haven't got everything ready, so things aren't perfect, so I haven't started yet. And then an accountability coach will say, did you do it? And they'll say, no. Okay, so why didn't you do it? Reason. And they'll write down the reason. If it's in a group call, then everybody gets to hear the reason. They go away, they come back next week, says, okay guys, you had this thing to do in the last week. Did you do it? And if the person says no, say, okay, well tell me why you didn't do it. What's your reasons? Of course, these are excuses because you either do it or you don't do it. Okay, and if the person says out loud, this is the reason, and they say, okay, will you do it this week? Yes, they agree to do it, they go away, they come back. If they don't do it the third week, what's happening is they're going to give you another reason. Now, what happens is very important. The reasons they give will start to repeat after 2 or 3 times, and everybody else will hear these reasons, say, that's not a reason, that's an excuse. And that's why accountability coaching is very effective. If you actually turn up in the first place and you give your reasons, you will hear yourself saying why you didn't do it, and you know yourself it's not true. That's accountability coaching. It's very powerful. It's the same thing that happens in software development. We call it a daily scrum. And the daily scrum, the way it works with rapid software engineering is that you have a backlist of things to do, and then you actually work out what's going to happen in the next week. So you work out all the different tasks and you give different tasks to different people. So John gets this task, Mary gets these 2 tasks, Philip gets these 4 tasks, and Clinton gets this task, right? And then you go through the week, and every day you say, what did you complete? What are you doing today, and what blocks do you have? Now, the important thing is about saying, what did you complete? You don't want to hear any reasons, you just want to hear what's complete, right? Now, at the end of the week, we have a retrospective in software, and the retrospective is looking back on the week and finding out what happened that went well and what didn't happen that caused problems. What are the blocks? What's the obstacles? What's not working? Now, that's a little bit like accountability coaching, because what they're saying is, okay, why didn't you get this done? Do you have too much on your plate? Is there something else blocking you from getting it done, or you just have an excuse? Now, this is important because this is done in a group, which means everybody hears the reasons. And in the beginning, a lot of people don't like getting into the Scrum philosophy in software in the beginning, because you have to be really open. You have to be really open, say, okay, guys, I didn't do it because I kept getting distracted. Or I didn't do it because it was too hard for me. I didn't do it because I didn't ask a question to clarify, so I was afraid to ask. You have to have that level of trust and openness to really be honest about your reasons for not doing stuff. But when you give your reasons, somebody will jump and say, right, let me help you with this, let me show you this, let me revisit this with you, or let me give you different tasks to do, which means the whole team moves forward. So effectively, it's a form of mentoring. Accountability coaching and mentoring is very similar in that whether you're mentoring someone, you're saying, I've been there, I've done that, this is what you should do. People won't do it because they haven't gotten there yet. their stuff will come up. They will get scared. They will have anxiety. They will be afraid to start before they're ready. They'll have reasons for not starting. And a good mentor will actually do accountability coaching to find the reasons why they didn't do it and then help them to do it. Okay? That's mentoring or accountability coaching. Now that's different from what I call coaching, because in my model of the world, in the coaching that I do, is we do change work. We do transformational coaching. And what that means is we identify what these blocks that people have, and then we use techniques, certain tools to remove those blocks. So for example, if someone has uncertainty, what you want to do is to get them to get a clear goal of the outcome they're going to get, so they can see the picture in their mind's eye about what they're going to do. Then they have more certainty about doing it because in their mind they've already rehearsed it. Okay? If someone has a negative anchor, they will use some sort of a collapse anchor. And a classic one for me and for lots of people is going to the gym. If you think about going to the gym and your thought of it makes you feel bad, that means you've created a negative anchor by going to the gym, which means you won't do it. If you don't feel good, you're not going to want to do it. So what's really important is you need to create a positive anchor, a positive reference of going to the gym, which is it's really important when you go to the gym, when you leave the gym, when you finish, that you write down or you remember or you reference the feeling you got at the end of the class, at the end of the session, not the class, so that you can remember how good you felt when you finished the exercise and it was challenging, but you got there, you did it. Okay, so when you go to the gym, you want to keep recalling the feeling at the end of getting that success, because that makes you feel excited about doing it. The same is true if you're, let's say, doing calls on, like a lot of people using Zoom or video conferencing at the moment. So when I jump on a call, I get really excited before I jump on a call because I'm speaking to this camera here. And I've created this studio, this beautiful studio here, exactly the way I wanted. So as soon as I walk in the door, I feel excited because I love this space. It's called nesting. It's making a nest of the place where you work. So every time you walk in, you feel good. That's a positive anchor. So in transformational coaching or breakthrough coaching, you're changing someone's experience by removing obstacles or creating really powerful resources or goals for the future. And that's different from accountability coaching. So to summarize, mentoring is saying, I've been there, I've bought the t-shirt, let me show you the way. But a good mentor will have to do accountability coaching because people won't necessarily do it just because you've done it. So you have to find out the reasons why they haven't do it and then help them push through. In coaching, in true coaching, in transformational coaching, in breakthrough coaching, what you're doing is you're removing the obstacles so it's easier for people to get into flow and get the results they want. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the difference between these two, coaching, mentoring, and teaching. Okay, now in teaching, what you're doing is you're giving people lessons, you're giving people gems, you're giving people tools, tactics, techniques, and you're giving people methodologies on how to do something. So for example, this video here is a teaching video. Now this video happens to be part of a web class that I run every Tuesday and Thursday, link in the description below, about mindset and marketing. But this is only the teaching part of that class. The rest of that class will be about listening to the people who have attended that class and finding out where they're at and finding out the reasons for not doing what they're doing, so I can help them become accountable by sharing the reasons and then actually not using those reasons, those excuses again. But also practicing the techniques to clear up the obstacles that stops you moving forward. But I can't do that unless I listen to you. So one of the things to be very careful about when you're coaching your clients is that you're not teaching at them, that you're actually also giving space to listen to them so that you can actually find out what their reasons are and help overcome those reasons using accountability coaching. Why didn't you do it? Or through breakthrough coaching or transformational coaching, as in let's get rid of that block. Okay, so one of the mistakes that I've made a lot in the past is over teaching when I'm actually on Zoom calls, right? And the reason that I would do that is normally when I'm teaching, I'm on stage in front of a class of 5, 10, 15 people. So on stage when I'm teaching, I teach a module and then there's an exercise. So I don't talk during the exercise. So moving to the Zoom format for me, I had to start thinking about, hold on a second, I'm over teaching here. I need to teach less stop the teaching and then actually start doing more coaching on the call. So the same thing for you. When you're working with someone, are you just teaching at someone? Are you just sharing information with them? Or are you basically doing the Q&A, questioning, listening to the answers, digging deep to find the real problem and helping them overcome that problem? So one of the little tips for you is that if you find yourself over teaching, then record those segments, turn them into videos and upload them to a platform like Academy 4 so that you can give your students the links to those videos, and then you don't have to teach that a second, third or fourth time. You can just say, hey guys, I talked about this before, there's a video here, here's the link, go watch that, and now let's do some coaching. Okay guys, if you found that useful, please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And if you've got opinions that are different from this, then please do let me know in the description below. Speak to you all in the next video.